Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I've spent some time with my daughter last night, and you know, there's a lot of people in this world that are suffering right now. There's a lot of people in this world that are watching their children starve to death. There's a lot of people in this world that are watching bombs fall on their loved ones. And the people who are doing it are the governments of the world. We hate one another, East and the West, you know, not because we are inclined to hate, but because we are led in this direction. We are indoctrinated and we are led astray. You know, the people in the West, for the most part, are not bad people. They have a lot of things psychologically we learn based on experience and observation. And in the West, these kafirs who run our system, who are in control of our media and our entertainment industry, our news channels, and our government and our education system, and our religions for the most part. And I say they're kafirs, disbelievers, because most of them are. Because if they weren't kafirs, they wouldn't be teaching us lies, they wouldn't be teaching us corruption, they wouldn't be teaching us racism and bigotry, they wouldn't be sending us to war over minerals, oil, heroin, money, power, greed, all in the cloak of religion, all in the cloak of quote-unquote democracy, freedom. That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for freedom. We're fighting the bad people, the terrorists. When's the last time you seen an Afghanistan tank running through your neighborhood? When's the last time you seen Ahmed or Brother Abdur running through your neighborhood with an AK-47 shooting your house up? Or coming and telling you, you have to understand what we want and how we do things. You have to take our way of life. You know, everybody here sits here and talks about how these people in the Middle East want to kill all the infidels and they want to force their religion and their way of life on us. Where are we? And what are we doing? We're invading their lands and trying to force our way of life on them. They're fighting for their homes, their family. At least they're fighting for something that's respectable. Granted, some of them are letting their emotions and they're letting what evil people have done to them make them evil. And they are transgressing the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the haqq. And I don't care what person or scholar or person says that I'm wrong, they are wrong and they know it. This thing in Syria, I don't get involved in it. Why? Because it's Muslims killing Muslims. And they're supported by Israel. The rebellion is supported by Israel, Saudi Arabia, and America. And I know the likes of the people who run these places. Saudi Arabia, their kings and princes and whatnot sit on gold toilets while their people go hungry outside their doors. Israel has stolen land 60 years ago from a people, bulldozed their houses, ran them out of their homes, and pretty much keeps them in a prison. Pretty much keeps them from getting food. And then you hear people here in the West, unite for Israel. Oh, Christians, unite for Israel. This is spiritual and religious ignorance. This is the work of the devil that is going on. And we, as the people, need to wake up and we need to come together for the sake of haqq, for the sake of ultimate truth, for the sake of the one God. We need to stop hating one another and we need to start getting to know one another. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He created you from male and female in different tribes and different places so that you may work together, so that you may get to know one another. Not so that you can kill one another. and hate one another. Because not any of us is more special than the other. Not one of our kids has more of a right to eat and drink than the other children based on where they live, what religion they are, or what color their skin is. That's the truth. And these entertainment people and these industry people, they are brainwashing people. These politicians are liars. Wallahi. They sit there and they say words like freedom and democracy. May they be humiliated and disgraced herein and hereafter, or led. Either way, I have no care. Because these people do terrible, terrible things. They talk about how it's honorable to fight these fights. How we're over there fighting these bad people. We're fighting for freedom. If we're fighting for freedom and we're fighting these bad people, then where are they at? Why ain't they out there on the front line getting their arms and legs blown off? Where are their children at? While our children are over there dying, where are their children at? Well, their children are at high private schools, learning how to turn our children's children into ignorant pawns for their wars for heroin, money, and minerals, and greed. We need to look into these things, and we need to wake up, because the people who are running the system, the economics, the banking system, the government, most of the religions now have been infiltrated by these people. Entertainment, music, these people all come from the same bloodline, the same people, and they come from an area called the Caucasus Mountains, and they have this nasty idea that they are responsible to manipulate and shape society, shape the world. They have this nasty idea that it's their job to create diseases and promote ignorance and corruption. They have these really wicked ways of doing things, and it's not fair, and it's not good. And Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, they adopted Judaism a long time ago. They were the Khazarians, and they were idol-worshipping, warlike tribe, and they were not Semitic people. But they adopted Judaism long after Judaism was here, long after Islam was here, long after Christianity was here, and they adopted Judaism. And that's where Zionism comes from, this fascist, racist idea. And in Revelations, Jesus, peace be upon him, says, I know about you who are rich in tears, and I also know about those who say they are Jews, but are not Jews. They are actually the synagogue of Satan. And some people will laugh at that and say, oh, well, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. People, God is real. And if you want to do some research and study on it, feel free. Look at it. Why do you think they promote so much ignorance? Why is it that you think that they can develop iPads and touch phones and this and that, but can't figure out how to feed hungry kids? They can figure out how to do shows like American Idol and these movies, and then they have all this money for all this ignorance to do all this stuff, make movies and this and that, sports entertainment. People with a stick and a ball get paid $20 million a year, but they don't have money to feed the poor. They have money to bail out the banks, but don't have the money to bail out the poor. They have money to go to war, but they don't have money to educate. That's because these people who run the world are the enemies of God, the enemies of truth, the enemies of goodness, the enemies of humanity. And that's the raw, uncut thing. And if I get whacked out or thrown in jail, oh well. Because the ride is over, folks. Because Jesus, peace be upon him, will come back. The Mahdi or somebody, peace be upon him, will come back. If I know it and I'm waking up to it, Allah knows best. Allahu Akbar. They plot, he plots against them. And I would rather die. I would rather spend my life in prison away from everything that I love and everyone that I love than to be quiet. I don't think that we should go to war. I don't say war. I don't say bombs. I don't say guns. We don't need that. We just need unity and truth. We outnumber them. Our soldiers on both sides are being manipulated. It's not a game. And we need to wake up to what these people who are controlling us are doing. And we need to do it now before they kill us all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.